Hello, this is Tim Squires, and this is the TimothySquires.com show. And we're here today with Mr. Ali Z. Green, or Dr. Ali Z. Green, of the Nubian Nation and the author of Relationship with Oneself, and many other books. I said a member of the Nubian Nation. We'll be getting to that. Um, Trying to catch up on what's going on with Dr. York. Maybe some of the other leaders, that are actually we call so-called black leaders or African American leaders. This is my debut show for YouTube that I'll be running currently with another channel that I'm broadcasting also on YouTube. It's a pleasure to have you here, Ali. Thank you, Timothy. I actually want to welcome you to the Black Think Tank. The Black Think Tank being what we need, a mastermind or a general focus, community focus on what's happening with the black males and the black family and the black community, as far as trying to restore what was taken, what most people don't know what we had when we existed in our motherland, or in Africa, or in Egypt, or in Nubia, or even in Akibu land, and also to collectively find out how we defend ourselves from the onslaught of violence that it seems like has been going towards us. My first question to like to ask you is, why books? What made you write your first book? I mean, a book is something that in this day and time most people don't even turn to unless you come from the education field, or if you're actually in education.
It's been a while now since I wrote my first book, a few years, but I've been writing all my life. I've been getting good grades in, elementary school, middle school, high school, all dealing with, English and grammar. And I used to draw, and I started writing comic books. And, I was very dramatic in the way that I would read things, express myself articulately, in character sometimes, right there in class. So I just had a real knack for writing early on, and I didn't shy away from it. I embraced it and molded it and made it evolve and grow into an expanded expression.
Why did you choose Relationship with Oneself, the title? What made you choose? What did you go into in-depth discussion on a relationship with oneself? I mean, coming from the school of thought, ancient Egyptian school of thought, I hear man know thyself, and you will know all men. You know what I'm saying? So, what made you write about finding oneself identity?
Well, that's what it's all about. I just remember growing up, it had nothing to do necessarily with, I wasn't thinking Egypt or anything like that uh, when I wrote the book. Because I've been writing this one particular book, which is not long. It's only about 15, 20 pages, 15 to 20 pages long. But when I wrote it with the intent of, it was like a documented journal of internal highlights within my own life, that based on a relationship that I have with my own self, which everyone should try to cultivate. You will see it cartoons all the time, especially as a child. You got a devil on your left shoulder and a God on your right shoulder or an angel. And, you listen to both sides of what to do. Those are really just portions of yourself. And I was able to identify with that early on. And I would get in the mirror with myself and, hold dialogue with myself and, just, really reflect. And that's what you do when you get in the mirror is, even if you don't want to reflect, it's become a physical action due to the mirror. And it turns one form of an act into another just with the mirror without having to express itself. And I think that in itself uh, is a deeper dimension of thinking, which leads us into spirituality, which is a expanded form of consciousness that transcends the physical dimension. And when you're dealing with these portions of, some say consciousness, some say knowledge, uh, some say nature, but when you're dealing with these portions of contents of, actualities, uh, you're dealing with you. It's the actual, you transcend this dimension. So uh, these portions of the self, they're described as the God portion. Stop. Okay. Yeah, they're like the God portion or the spirit portion or a portion of that source of whatever articulation of religious background you may take or school of thought you may come from. It all has the same transliterated expression or meaning, or form of definition um, based on human reality. Because as again I said, when you deal with your spirit, it transcends anything here. This is something going beyond here or even before here. So when you're dealing with that context, you know, it takes it away from being bound.
Yeah. What you say? So what?
That's I might be talking all over the place. But.
No, I got you. I got you. Just in relationship to your first book, um, you said it's insights as far as insights about how you progressed and things that you saw or reflective of you as far as and then you further made an anecdote about physical, you know, the physical self, but then reflection on the mirror. Um, what other books have you written, or what other ideas have you decided to go in depth on?
Um, I just went into the layers of the relationship with oneself. But the other books I wrote, namely one called "This Is Raynology," which is I'm expressing from the degrees of Ray, which is the etheric sun, the dark sun, which is the soul, and about the thirds of the self. There's a third of you that's you, but there's a third of you that's your mother. There's a third of you that's your father, and only one of them is truly you. You use your parents as you use their template, and the genetics that they come from for reference of how to operate and conduct yourself on any and every level while you're in the material world. So, what we do with radiology is we subtly introduce the self to the lower self, which is the physical body. And that led into another book I wrote called Multidimensional Awareness, which we go through the layers of the body, dealing with the central nervous system, the skeletal system, the muscular system, the digestive system, and go through the different 12 human systems of the body so that we can identify with our physical self. And this is something, and this is not something exclusive to black people. It's for all people. Anybody that, if gravity affects you, you need to be getting in tune with the ray as much as you can, you know. But you got to drink a lot of water. I always talk about drinking a lot of water. Water is highly important to drink. And I wrote another book called The Radiology of Alkaline Water. And that talks about uh, uh, drinking that water and becoming a conductor of electromagnetic energy. But all of these things are propagated out through points of light and what we call books. I use my own little slang term, from my school of thought, the point of light of multi-dimensional awareness, which we're bringing them back out. I haven't been printing up no books. I haven't been promoting them as of late, but I had them in circulation at one time, and I will put them back out there. But you want to deal with the human anatomy, and you want to get the physical anatomy introduced to the ray, which is through the electromagnetic body, which is the magnetism, the electro, which is light, magnetism attract, but it's a red light, okay? This red light is the lowest form of energy that is activated here in the material world, so things should become materialized. This is why you see red as the color of your blood when you bleed, once you see it, But all of these are external forms. We have external knowledge. Now it's time for internal knowledge so that we can recognize that we are not this material form. It's not nothing spooky or deep or nothing to be all scary about. It's just making a detachment. Before we even have to make a physical detachment, we should already be consciously detached to some degree from this mental world. This material world. We're still a part of it, but we're over consumed with being attached to the material world and not the internal world. So we have a lot of external conflicts because there's a lot of internal conflicts that have not been brought to a resolution. And in this great day and time, what the people really need is some form of salvation. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with getting a little salvation, but get you some salvation, brothers and sisters.
Where you from, Ali?
Originally, I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
D.
Yes,
You go down in the DM, don't it?
sir.
How does that affect your writing?
What is this?
I said, how does that affect your writing?
What, being from Detroit?
Yeah.
It doesn't actually. Even right now, I'm working on a book called Cakeonomics, and I talk about money conscious or becoming money literate, becoming applicable with applying strategies and executing uh, what you put down so you can get money out here, so you can know how money works. We go up and go through school not knowing about money. And, that's the only time I really reflect back on home, it was real. I came up hard. Detroit is a hard place. And it just got worse and it started to rock. I love my home. I love where I'm from, and but it was real rough for me growing up there.
Detroit seems like it could be rough. I almost got some property there. And I remember speaking to you about it just before I bought it, and you were like, "Don't buy it." I was like, "Wow, I'm about to come up." I was in, and you told me the main problem, and I did some research after that. And when I researched it, I found out that, I mean, not only did I find out then, but I found out years later that that was a problem for people who actually lived there.
Yeah,
They would go out of town for like a weekend or a couple of a week, and somebody would move into their house, and somebody would squat in their house, eat their food, and live in their house, throw parties in their house. I was like, wow. I was like, the abandonment issues is heavy, and people just don't respect property lines. It's so hard that they don't respect property lines. I've been to Detroit before. My brother worked for the Plain Dealer back in you said 90s, late 90s, and he took me out to show me like Grosse Point and showed me some other neighborhoods, more wealthy neighborhoods, because he lived out maybe in a little subdivision of Detroit. So I never really saw the impoverished or the dilapidation or the rundown buildings and stuff. That was the late 90s though, so there wasn't, it was still thriving. But when I look at the pictures now, man, I can buy houses for like between $3,000 and $5,000 in Detroit. But you don't have anybody to live in them. You don't have anybody once you fix them up. You run the risk of somebody just destroying them, or. So unless I was trying to create some company insurance fraud or something like that, I wouldn't not live in Detroit and buy property in Detroit. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely. The way housing market was one time, it was like coolest. And you know who did go in and buy the property? The Chinese. The Chinese went and bought it all. They're like, we don't care.
They got a vision for the future for it.
Yeah. I was looking for something a little more short term. I was looking for something like, 3 to 5 years flip. But the money type of money they have, I mean, they're just trying to buy Detroit. That's what that is.
Yeah, they're trying to bring it back together.
Yeah, they gonna do it too. Oh yeah, they're over in California already. Um, how are you connected to Dr. York? And what is Dr. York now? So I've heard so many stories. He's not locked up anymore. He's underground.
Well, I'm connected to Dr. York is mainly through the information and knowledge. I grew up with a black consciousness. My parents were in the Nation of Islam, so I kind of grew up in a form of community in my youthful years, my early years of life. So, from there, Dr. York, his books were always present. And, as I got an age, I got to tune with that information. And I even joined, the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek. And, I started to develop my spiritual consciousness, under his guidance, of course, through the information, the application of the information to my life, it just made me a better person. You know what I mean? I always felt like, this growing person that picked it up and said, hey, it seemed like I need to get with this.
Yeah.
And I got with it, man. You know what I mean?
Those of you who don't know, Dr. York is Dr. Malachi Z. York now. He was originally
not knocking them or nothing, but this brother is speaking the actual language and he can write it. And they wasn't doing that. Everybody else is just I'm talking about the New World of North America, but Dr. Malachi York played a very important part of my spiritual awakening. That's what we came to this planet for. And everybody got a purpose. You better find your purpose and make sure that they have a positive effect on the world, because you got a legacy to leave behind.
If we want a quick snapshot of who Dr. York is, Wikipedia, and I'll give you an overview of just some of the things of thought. If you really want to know who Dr. York is, then he has a ton of literature that's on the internet, both in videos and books, booklets, chapbooks, weekly magazines. I mean, this is a ton of information. He was a scribe because he pretty much had a hold on producing information. And his information is being reproduced all over the internet. What is the relevance of the Nawapians in today's society?
There had to be some form of relevance. If I'm sitting right here and we having this conversation.
Right now, religion is at a crossroads. I mean, young people are not accepting the old religion, and the old people, the middle-aged to older people, like Generation X, or whatever it's called, is not accepting the generation that's not accepting the religion of their predecessors. Right. It's like my dad's religion was more a secret. I mean, it was outwardly worship with, Judeo-Christian religion, or Christian religion, Baptist. But, his faith was more based on more ancient things. And in my knowledge, I found out that I've had to take on the responsibility that there was a man before modern man wrote the Bible. I mean, ancient Egypt existed 25,000 years before so-called Jesus walked the face of the earth. And we had a belief system, and we had a purgatory, not a hell. But we had what we call a negative outcome of living a life negative. And then we had a positive outcome of living a life under the rules of Maya. And there was a reward for that in the afterlife. And this is where our thinking of the afterlife comes from. Our basis for afterlife comes from those thinking prior to the Christian religion. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like we don't accept that, we don't know. We call it pagan. We don't talk about Europeans and say that as pagan or negative, but that was us. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't them, that was us. Right. So why would we consider what we did was something negative, and then what they did was what was perfect and right? No, they only took versions of what we did and created and gave us something back to us and say, now this is it. And now we in our childhood ignorance now, after being through slavery, being stripped of everything, you know what I'm saying? We have to accept this as, the end all and be all. And I see, the Most High, or the Creator, or the intelligence. Because Marcus Garvey refers to universal intelligence as God. You know what I'm saying? I see that universal intelligence as something that is above language and above creation, above misinterpretation. So, and I believe that he can move in our hearts a lot quicker than he can through us reading in a book. He can put thoughts in our mind and move us a lot quicker than we can from having to decipher it from what, Europeans tell us this is what God told us to do. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things about how slaves deal with their masters and things of that nature. I'm saying, God ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And my youth and my ignorance, I would fight you over the Bible. I would kill you over the Bible. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I'm going to understand that the Bible is a book just like everybody else, and it's used to control. It's one of the greatest control tools that was created in the world. When you create a book and say, this is what God said, and this is the word of the unadulterated word of God. It's what educated people did to uneducated people because for hundreds of years, uneducated people couldn't read the Bible. They just had to go to the masses and Church of England or Catholicism, Catholic churches, and hear the priests. And whatever they said was what God said because they were the ones who read the books. But the books were written in Latin and Hebrew and Greek. And unless you were a scholar, you didn't read Latin, Hebrew, and Greek. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? They would pretty much have to take the mercy, at the mercy of the priest, of the you know what I'm saying, of the church, as far as what God said. And now it's no longer true. Information is king. Information, knowledge is king. Knowledge may not be God, but knowledge is king. Universal intelligence is still God. Knowledge is not God. You know what I'm saying? But universal intelligence is. So, what changes do you see in American society as far as the black male and the black family are concerned?
Well, as far as the black male, you said the black male in society?
Black male and the black family, because it seems like there's an onslaught against, there's a fear, as much as there's a fear campaign for ISIS against the world, there's a fear campaign internally in America against the African American male and African American family. It seems like they want to keep us in terror, these murders. I mean, we can't be doing anything else but try to keep us in terror so that we don't get out of line and think too highly of ourselves because we got a black president. So how do we combat this? What changes do you see in American society as far as the black male? Because there has to be some changes in how you deal with people. If you know that that their goal is to kill you.
I think someone in power, or that's in control of the power, the so-called power, is, they're trying to express their power. People that feel like they have power or control, they always have to try to induce fear. And what's going on in this day and time, since I tell people all the time.
more conducive to our well-being. It is not conducive to get paid $7 an hour when the majority of the people who get paid $7 an hour far outweigh the people who make more money than that. So they should have the political power to change that. Rebellion, through lawlessness, through rejection of traditional ideas, and they're trying to give you ideas to accept other than what is the norm, but they aren't positive. You know what I'm saying? They kind of give you an alternative to male female relationships, you know what I'm saying, to better male female relationships, but they're not positive. They're not, I mean, there's no alternative to a male female relationship. You know what I'm saying? But they try
out psyching these motherfuckers because they crazy. For real, some white people is crazy. They afraid of black people. They know some retribution should be paid for what was done to the black people, and they know that. It's some form of guilt. I don't know what psychologists call it, but whatever form of guilt is going on, they got it real bad. And I'm just saying, the white society in itself, they wish that they could just put us all in the landfill for our borders so they don't have to deal with looking at their guilt. And I think that just white America in general feels guilt just having to coexist with quote unquote black America. Uh, but it's like, man, how do I get rid of all of this that I created? That you didn't create nothing. And it's like, just us waking up to the, like I said at the beginning of our conversation, waking up internally, you know, and operating from that internal being instead of all this externalness. Because then we can handle all of this stuff a little bit more better, you know. Like I use myself and yourself as an example, right quick. We stay in DeKalb County, right? Where it's predominantly black. You got white police on the force, but it's predominantly black police. And a lot of the stuff that you see or that they propagate to you on TV, a lot of these areas is heavily populated with white people, or they also their police force is heavily populated. And what I want to say to my brothers is, since like I've been saying for a few years now, start moving to blacker areas, where you're not going to be looked at as a thug or a crook or, where black people are from those neighborhoods. Start using some sense. Stop trying to be like the white people all the time. Go live with your own. We got to find better ways to unify amongst each other. Cause don't nobody care about us if we don't care about us.
Yeah, and it's easy to find well-to-do neighborhoods that are I'm saying, I don't have to even down black, but you know what I'm saying? Even the way it's, you know,
I was speaking as far as the law enforcement. The law enforcement in Decatur is mostly black.
yeah,
So you don't have incidents where you see someone is getting shot in the back. If the police shot somebody here in Decatur, it's because that person tried to shoot the police. I'm not here trying to justify what police do, and I'm not saying that all police are good or stuff like that. But I'm just saying if you see this is going on, don't don't play scratch off chances with your life or your children's life. You know, and stop trying to hold on to things. This is what living external does. It stops us from making them internal decisions where you got a peace of mind because you know that you can wake up in the morning and some redneck police ain't gonna gun your child out, because he outside playing with a toy gun. You know, we gotta move to blacker areas where the police are blacker. That's first. And if that doesn't work for you, then hey, as I said before, move to blacker areas. You know, it's a love for my each other is creating a helix form of energy and the gateway start to open up in your chakra points. A lot of people's chakra points is still just open up right here in the root. And so when that gate I was born or not, it's dense energy coming through. But if more of those chakra points is open up, when you release yourself, it'll be more of that energy that's coming off. You want to have inside the higher chakra point areas. And this is where they brought in the cross of Christianity. They cut the head off because they didn't want you to pay attention to the head, because the head is what the crown sits. That's the gift that God gave to everybody was your mind. And when you're dealing with the mind, you deal by him. They should weigh heavy. In your heart, your spiritual heart should always outweigh the feather. You know, these forms of symbolisms was used in order to get you spiritually alive before you went to the afterlife. And this is something that we as black people are missing. You know,
Come on, man. They taking everything African, turn it into something white, and then now it's the shit. Now it's the end all to be all. Yeah, it's crazy. That's why we have the black think tank. Because in this day and time, we just can't take African stuff or black people stuff, change it around and sell it back to them and average, you know what I'm saying? They got something. So that's all they're doing. Um, I got two more questions. Um, what do you see as for the future of black people, both young and old?
well, you know, the future of us is it just depends on our mentality. Because right now, everyone is eating off of us. Everyone is living off of black people. Young and old. They depend on you to survive. You know, when I say they, I mean other groups. You know, the Asians, they're getting rich off of you. The Indian, they're getting rich off of you. You know, the white man, he getting rich off of you. And in fact, the white man is not even getting rich off of you. It's the Jewish man. You know, even the Mexican man starting to get his hand in the mix. The Colombian, everybody is making money off of us, and we don't want to make money off ourselves. Forget us making money with each other. We don't even want to make money off our own self. And we got to find a way to do, you know, to start doing that and become innovative with our thinking. Because a lot of our consciousness is melted. We got the mind of an American. Rather, if you grew up here and you just spending money and, you know, you speak English, you got the mind of American. Your mind it's kind of been shaped in an Americanized way. You know, we didn't grow up in a third world country. So, you know, we have a lot of privileges on our perception, the way we're able to perceive things. And if we take advantage of this concentration that we're able to have, you know, we don't have to worry about bombs hitting our damn block every damn day. You know what I mean? So, shit, we need to take advantage of that and cultivate a sharper mental mind, you know, and start refining our minds, and you know we can get greater because you know we the prize. You know, we just fooling ourselves to think that we're not. You know, it tell you right there in the book of John, you know, chapter 10, verse 34, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. You know, we the children of the Most High. We just little drip drops, you know, little driplets, little expressions. You know, that's the easiest way I can put it based on English. You know, it's to go biblical. So everybody can understand it and nobody say, you know, it's like we gotta compensate for people's ignorance and compensate for people's insecurities. You know, that's the American mind state. And once we start to identify, you know, with that, you know, it really take like a trip to Africa. You know, start doing that because, like you said, the young and the old, right? Shit, man. By the time my son start having children, I'm gonna be old. You know what I mean? So it's like it's making the now count as much as possible. You know, I took a trip to Africa a few times, and you know, I just seen the brothers and sisters over there. I went through the villages, seen all the customs and the cultures. You know, came back with enough pictures and stories for my children, but they don't have children. You know what I mean?
Did you see that way to make money? Did you see did you see that way because my next question was, can black people create their own currency, like Gaddafi tried to, like Mugabe or another African leader, create their own currency? You know, Gaddafi tried to create the gold dinar. He was gonna have a currency that actually based on gold. If he had enough gold, Africa had enough gold to base their currency on gold, but it doesn't. The European system doesn't, and the American system doesn't have enough gold to back their currency. So they would have upset the European right, tremendous. So it made their money worthless, really.
It would have showed the reality of what it really looked like.
Yeah, it would have made the money worthless. And we think it's because of that fact that Gaddafi was taken out of power, as opposed to something about our trade or resurgence. If you look at the social programs Gaddafi had in this country, I mean, they're unparalleled by any country. The country was wealthy. Right. Libya was a wealthy country. And he had social programs like free electricity and free housing. They didn't have homeless. So, I mean, the things that we have here, like healthcare and stuff like that, what Republicans are fighting so hard against, you know, he made decisions like that, you know what I'm saying, based on his own common sense and goodwill. And we're fighting for years and years for basic stuff like healthcare that they had, you know, because of the government. Because they had a government based on, you know what I'm saying, pretty much what he thought. Because he was a dictator for the most part. Even though he was of Islamic background, he was still pretty much, they didn't have a parliament or anything, you know, to create law, to create his own law. And a lot of it's positive. I mean, right now Gaddafi was just the same thing Haile Selassie did. You know what I'm saying? He went to the United Nations, told them what they did to Saddam Hussein was wrong, and that, you know, they did it to him, they could do it to us. They could do it to me. You know, and they did it to him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Haile Selassie went to the United Nations and said, you know what I'm saying, what Italy is doing to us, you have not stopped and you will not help us. He says, it is us today, but it will be you tomorrow. And it was them. You know what I'm saying? That was happening when Germany turned on England and Italy sided with Germany. England had a wild help Ethiopia to get the stronghold back in Africa. England and America had a wild help Ethiopia to defeat Italy. So you know, the outcome was different. What Gaddafi said, but it wasn't. But the timing was different. See, Gaddafi went through that, and Haile Selassie went through that in the middle or the beginning of his reign. You know what I'm saying? But Haile Selassie also went through the deluge, which was the young people overturning the government because they wanted a democratic or socialist government like the rest of the world. And that's what happened to Gaddafi. You know what I'm saying? His people wanted the government, so-called democratic government, like the rest of the world. And they overturned his rule. He was pretty dictator. You know what I'm saying? As much as he's done for the people, they still overturn. So people don't ever remember the good shit you do for them. Excuse my language. They don't remember the good things that you do for them. All they remember is the day, today. So what are you doing for me today?
You know, that's the United Nations, man. Like, as you don't get involved with the United Nations, and, you know, you can't buy, sell, or trade like the terms and regulations. They will make you suffer. You know, they'll make sure your country doesn't really have what it needs in order to sustain itself. As far as, especially in terms of protection from other countries, you know, all of those countries that be getting invaded and submerged by warlords and stuff, they're given guns by, you know, by government officials, told to go take over villages and stuff like that, you know, to try to get the country to conform to this form of democracy instead of running the country the way that it's running, so they can balance it out with their resources.
I think that's a key though. If instead of trying to make other people money, make your own money. Right? Give it its own value. Exactly. And then go from there. And then fight. You know what I'm saying? Because That's all you do in the world. Anyways, when you create a product or you give a service to the world, you give it its worth, and then the world gives you back currency for it. So why not go 100 years? They created us. That, the mannerism in us, the world. We believe that the love of money is the root of all evil. That's the whole thing from the second book of Timothy. The love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. But yet still use money to control us and keep us in poverty. You know what I'm saying? Keep us with all the things that we need for people who are poor and people who do have the things that we need, some of the things that we want. So I mean, I listen to that. I listen to that. And I take it with a grain of salt. So it's not money that we want. We want a currency. We want our own currency. And if African Americans can use create technology to create a currency, I mean, even if it's an artist, there's an artist that writes on $1 pound notes, or dollar notes, or pound notes in England. They're called Banksy notes, or Banksy notes. And he does art on the dollar on the 1 pound. And when he does it, it creates a new value for that 1 pound. It's no longer worth 1 pound anymore. You know what I'm saying? They sold for hundreds of pounds. You know what I'm saying? Once he was done the art. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, even if you got to create a piece of art, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the word, you know what I'm saying?
Where its value could be.
It could be reproduced and it still have value.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because because it's all driven by consumer confidence or the confidence of the masses. So the masses think that this piece of art is more valuable than gold, or more valuable, or they think this piece of art
Could be measured by its value.
is collectively more valuable than gold, because gold is not going to give you food, clothing, and shelter. You know what I'm saying? Gold is only going to be the middle of the zeros, but the piece of art can be exchanged for food, clothing, and shelter for your family. You know what I'm saying? It was just a thought as far as brainstorming on how to create currency as far as without using a gold standard. Because I don't have a gold abundance of gold. I don't have a country that abundance of gold. And I don't think it's right for me as an American, African American, to go to Africa and be like, this is how you should start, this is how you should run the country. But I do believe that we should be able to go to Africa or different countries in Africa and be like, okay, this is the most positive thing that we've seen coming from the West. And this right here can be very positive if it's incorporated into this country. And we should be able to benefit from that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think the place is, that's why I think the relationship between the African and African American. The same way the European or people go to Japan and make money, our rappers, travel Europe and make money and travel, what I'm saying, Russia and Amsterdam and make money. You know what I'm saying? The African American has to be, the same way about making money around the world.
Exactly.
And it can't stop thinking about Africa as an outlet to create finances. And sometimes it's not just finances, but it's wealth. It's business connections. You know what I'm saying? And it's wealth. I sold my place. I sold my condo to a gentleman who was a guy in charge of the water utilities for his entire country. I mean, he left under some corruption. But do you imagine how many contacts he got? He's dealing with thousands of dollars from Africa every month. You know what I'm saying? But you imagine how many contacts he got? He was in charge of the water for his entire country. The water utilities for the entire country. I mean, he left under some. I mean, he left under some like he looked like the Shah of Iran when he was leaving his country. And they caught him for a country, so he spent some time in jail before he, deported to the States. But he came in, he had big houses in New York, he was wealthy, you know what I'm saying? But the economy went bad. So he lost stocks and everything else. But it just goes to show you. I mean, I did that for the connection more than anything. Because I want to go to Africa, I want to travel to Africa. And I know anybody who had to sneak out of Africa, well, the best way in and out of Africa. You know what I'm saying?
It's when you go to Africa, you want to make sure you got correspondence, have a trustworthy correspondent, and make sure that you have your shots up to date. You know, get you some shots if you're gonna be going to the villages. They're exposed to livestock in ways that we're not. You know, and you can get malaria and you can lose your life. You know, it happened to a few people already. You know, going over there. You know, it's good to go visit and see it, but just get your shots and have that correspondent. You know, somebody that you know that's from that actual place that you're visiting that you know from over here. So just so anything can go wrong, but everything can go right too.
The two places I really want to go, like my brother's been to South Africa. He got condos that he went out from South Africa. He got property down there. He own with women. But I want to always go to Egypt and Ethiopia. You know what I'm saying? You know, I would want to go to Ghana just for like maybe a third place if I was really sick of seeing the country. But after you go to Egypt and Ethiopia, you know, really, you know what I'm saying? Egypt is too Western. I mean, it's too Arab right now for me to choose a wife. So I would probably go to Ethiopia to choose a wife. But no, I would go to Egypt just for pyramids, man. Just to get that energy, to be around that cosmic energy.
Yeah, man, but the price of, you know, it doesn't, it's not, people say it's expensive, but you look at these things that we spend our money on here.
You get a ticket for well, I had planned a trip once back in like '02. I was graduating from college. I had a trip planned like for spring break, May 3rd, March 3rd. I was going. And then they had this travel advisory, man. Ever since then, like George Bush or somebody was around. Ever since then, they don't advise you to go to Egypt. They don't. Matter of fact, when you go to buy the plane ticket, they tell you we advise you not to go.
Yeah, they probably doing that. They don't want you to go see yourself.
Yeah, I say that too, but I think Egypt is volatile. And
Oh yeah, yeah, it is kind of unstable.
you can't. You're not really. They're not even protected by the rule of law, so they can't. As an American citizen, American guarantee you go over there that you're not gonna get kidnapped or held for ransom or something like that. If you're in the wrong area. There's some stuff going on over there in Egypt, man. I mean, they deposed Mama. What was his name? Hosni Mubarak. They got rid of him too. I mean, it was like they was going through and getting rid of everybody. But that's the conclusion of our show today. Like I say, I do live streams, but they're mostly for my YouTube videos. So my subscribers can go back and watch the videos.